Hi everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today we won't be talking about a book, but about a manhwa. For those of you who still don't know what a manhwa is, it's actually basically the Korean equivalent of the Japanese term manga or the Chinese one, which is manhwa. So it's basically a comic. So the manhwa I'll be talking about is Semantic Error and is made up of a total of 6 volumes. If I'm not mistaken, it is already finished. I've read the first 3 novels, which are the ones that have already been edited in English. And now, here's the thing. The manhwa originated from the light web novel with the same title, written by Jay Sori. I apologize in advance because I know I'll probably butcher all these Korean names, so sorry, I'll try my best not to mispronounce them. The author actually decided to make a comic out of the novel, and that's why Angie, who did the illustrations, got on board. Let me tell you, the art of the manhwa is just breathtaking. I know what they say, yeah, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but you can deny it's really lovely. Like, just look at this, please. It's so beautiful. What I love most about manhwa is that compared to Japanese manga, the illustrations are in color, which really enhances them and gives you a much more enjoyable reading experience. So it really is a shame that I had to read it in black and white on my e-reader. But you know, money doesn't really grow on trees. And I'm quite stingy, so I'm not gonna lie to you. The printed version was more than double the price. I think I could have read it online for free anyway. But yeah, you gotta support the author and the artist, so. Now let's talk about how I got my hands on the manhwa. I basically watched the adapted version way back when it came out. There are actually 2 adaptations. There's the animated version, which is inspired by the manhwa. I watched it this morning, literally in 15 minutes. I'm not kidding. It's just like 4 episodes long, and each of one lasts from 3 to 4 minutes. So each episode feels more like a sneak peek of what you could get if you had a more elaborate, longer series. What it could have looked like in any way. Every episode is like a sketch showing engaging, romantic, playful, and somewhat sexy scenes from the manhwa. If you take it for what it is, and bear in mind that it's probably a low-budget production, it's great. Otherwise, it just gives you a taste of what you could get, an idea of what you are missing if you haven't read the manhwa. The scenes are not really connected at all, and there's really no linear plot. The animation is alright, beautiful, just like the art in the manhwa, but that's it. It's just like a nice compliment to the comic, and you should definitely give it a shot if you are craving for more from these 2 stubborn lovebirds we will be talking about later. The other adaptation was the TV series starring Park Sung-joon, who played Jang Jae-jung, sorry for my pronunciation again, and Park Jae-chan, who got the role of Chu Sang-woo. It's made up of 8 episodes, each lasting around 30 minutes, so again, quite a good choice if you want to indulge in binge watching. To make everything fit, the series actually leaves part of the manhwa out and also part of the novel out. Taking the manhwa as a reference, I'd say it covers about volumes 1 and 2 and most of volume 3. Then it just takes a leap forward in time, and the good thing is that it does manage to tie up all the loose ends in a way, and it kind of feels like a real ending, not just something disconnected that doesn't make any sense, like something hasty and unfinished. I may be wrong, but I think they took the ending from the novel because the manhwa was still ongoing. I loved the series so much. Like, so much. I believe it was the first Korean BL I watched, and I loved it. It opened the way for future Korean BL productions. It was undoubtedly a turning point for the genre, even though it was pretty low budget as well. And I feel like the characters in the series are much more realistic and relatable because they are not portrayed in such a humoristic, exaggerated way as it usually happens with manga or manhwa. Moreover, it is also more subtle and focuses on the romantic tension and emotional connection between Sang-woo and Jae-young, whereas the original manhwa is more about sexual connection as well, and definitely has some explicit steamy scenes. The series tones it down a lot, of course. In fact, I was expecting something sweeter and more tender when I started reading the manhwa, and boy, was I shocked. But like, positively shocked. I actually think there were no kisses or anything like that in the original script for the series, but thankfully the actors said they were down for it and they gave us so much. And for that, as I said, I'm grateful. Like, there's so much chemistry and there's gentle kisses, but also passionate kisses, lingering kisses, which are extremely rare in Korean BL series, or at least they used to be back then. Anyway, that's it for the series. I came here to review the manga more than anything, and I feel like I'm going on forever about every other adaptation. So I basically watched the series with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and I said to myself, this series is the shit. Like, it's the best thing I've ever watched, like one of the best Korean BLs I've ever watched, but also one of the best BL series I've watched in general from any country. How am I gonna get over it and feel this emptiness, this void that it's left in my heart? Maybe it's time to finally read the manga, and you guessed it, I did. I just realized I haven't really technically told you anything about the plot yet. It's basically an enemies to lovers university romance story with lots of teasing. It centers around Chu Sang-woo, as I said, a computer science student who is extremely logical, bound by his routine, and he basically does everything by the book. He's working on a group project with all his classmates slack off. So he decides to do the class presentation on his own and reports them to the professor. This basically results in Jang Jae-jung, an upperclassman and a popular design student, losing credits and being forced to delay his graduation. As you can imagine, Jae-jung is really pissed and he takes it personally. He decides to get back at Sang-woo in the weirdest and most creative way possible. He follows him around, that's what he does. He sits next to him or in his favorite spot and messes with him and his strict routine to get on his nerves. He even collaborates with Sang-woo on a project to develop a 2D video game. Sang-woo basically agrees to work with him only because he's impressed by his visual and designing skills. At first, Jae-jung picks on him. I'd say his behavior borders on stalking, but then he suddenly all smiles and really seems to care for Sang-woo and tries to help him in any way possible. And this change drives him crazy. It gets to the point when he can't function properly anymore. Sparks fly and they gravitate towards each other and fall deeper and deeper in this messy game of love. It's definitely a slow burn romance, despite Jae-jung being impulsive and crossing the line sometimes way too much in my opinion. He holds back and they slowly open up to each other, building respect and trust. Them being so headstrong doesn't really help either, to be honest. They are so different, yet so close and have more in common than they thought at first. I guess opposites attract. This really applies in this case. Besides the wonderful illustrations and the romance, what I like the most is how we get in the characters' minds and read their thoughts in a way. It's not as one-sided as in the series, and we get to see both Sang-woo's and Jae-young's point of view. Something else I loved about the book is Sang-woo's character, and let me elaborate a bit on that, because I already got the feeling he might be on the spectrum when I watched the series. But in the manga, he gives off so many autistic vibes. I think it's sort of canon actually, because at some point in the first volume, they mention him being neurodivergent, if I'm not mistaken. He has such a strict routine, as I already said, he's a rule follower. He has a favorite seat where he always has to sit in class, as well as a sort of comfort drink. He can't concentrate without. Change something in his routine and he struggles and feels anxious. He has a selective memory, so he often forgets information or people he doesn't deem important, but he can memorize thousands of facts about his topics of interest and all his favorite songs and range them and organize them by title, artist, and album. He's socially awkward and often misses social cues. He also dismisses conventions when they don't seem logical to him and is always extremely and sometimes also brutally honest, no matter what. He also likes things being explained literally and plainly, no beating around the bush and no sugarcoating. Despite him being very distant and logical, he's also very sensitive as a character. He often feels emotions very intensely. If all of this is not screaming neurodivergent, I don't know what is. It's hard for me to find nuanced neurodivergent characters in books, let alone manga or manga. And it's great to have relatable characters on the spectrum in BLs like this one. Truth be told, Sang-woo still needs a little more character development though, and I really hope to see him open up more in the next volume. If you haven't read either the manga or the novel or even watched the series, I think I've given you plenty of reasons to give it a chance by now. I mean, I basically rambled on and on about this for far longer than I usually do when I review something, so it's that's saying something. And if you've already read it or watched the adaptation, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. That's all for now. I hope you liked the video, and I hope to see you all very soon.